Hola a todos. Hello. Very welcome. In this incredible journey of 16 years, Animana han hecho por nosotros co-create and collaborate with artisans, producers, policymakers, researchers, students, people that would like to understand, embrace many of the problems and the challenges that we are facing. And the most important is how can we co-create these solutions. And after finding a way, a vision, a solution, how can we share and collaborate, sharing these good practices and these insights with the global community? So how can we reconnect with this wisdom? How can we experience this connection with nature, with indigenous people, in order to interchange different tools that we have created? And here comes artificial intelligence. May artificial intelligence enhance of the grassroots of artisan indigenous, help them to appropriate of their culture, of their enormous capacity of coexisting with earth, with biodiversity. May they become the new teachers, the new professors of our system. And this systemic change that we are transiting needs the collaboration, the comprehension, the presence of all of us. And the moment is now, I think, how to make collaboration work in this instant today.
Today, I want to mainly talk briefly about collaboration, which is going to be my main topic of conversation in here. So, because this is the single most important ingredient for creating systemic change, basically. And at Hecho por Nosotros, which I recently joined, but they've been working over 15 years, and they know that no single organization has all the answers. And the lasting impact is only born when we build ecosystems that bring together all of these voices.
Warm greetings to all in this unique moment of the AI transformation, a moment when nothing seems impossible if powered by AI, this new electricity of our times, in the word of Stanford professor Andrew Ng. And yet, if we are to truly shift systems towards sustainability, it is imperative that we design in a manner that all humanity, from the high Andes to the Himalayan foothills, can co-create, participate, and benefit from this transformation. Imperative we bridge a fast-growing AI divide. How then, in this moment, can we build and fund AI-powered solutions and academic initiatives that not only advance sustainability, but also bend the arc of the AI transformation towards artisanal knowledge and indigenous wisdom, towards regenerative, inclusive economies that leave no one behind?
They talk about the importance of understand that AI is not the future anymore. AI is in our lives, in all the things that we had at home, in all the things that we have in our works, in all the things that our children are watching and reading in their schools. So AI is something that is going to be surrounding us all the time, and we need to learn how to use it to increase the impact of our work. In the case of Animana and Hecho por Nosotros, there is a huge opportunity of feeding the AI with information about the indigenous wisdom and the knowledge that the community have. AI is fed and is full of information that we share with AI. But if we don't share that information, there is a hole in what AI can share with other group of people. So we need to start feeding the AI with all the information about the initiatives that you are doing, the communities are doing, the learnings that you are having, the questions that you are having, so you can be part of that conversation that is out there. So use it in a way that we're going to feed the information that other people is going to find there is one of the key aspects, but also using it in a way that AI can help us to organize the information about it, about the communities and their work, is, for me, the most powerful tool. And the last one, they are something that we have been missing for years, which is we don't need to invent the wheel. They are indigenous communities, artisans, and traditional communities that has been developing sustainable textile, sustainable fabrics. They have sustainable practice. They are great in circular economy, and we are trying to create methodologies and invent the wheel for something that they know how to do. So AI is also a way to learn from them.
Fashion that is not just a product, but fashion is also culture. We are dealing with culture and we are dealing with people. And in particular, we are dealing with language. The biggest issue that I'm seeing right now is the fact that artisans are speaking, allow me to say, one language. Young designers in the same places are speaking a totally different language. So the first step is to connect these generations and these different mindsets and these different cultures. And here it comes education, thanks to the design, and that's the most important role, the design, the systemic design of educational experiments and activities that are able to connect on this And in that, artificial intelligence could be able basically to leverage these assets.
What would happen if social entrepreneurs could share their perspective to tech industries? And what would happen if tech companies knew about the tech that they built is being used to change social realities? And what would happen if social entrepreneurs and tech companies will work together designing tech, taking advantage of strengths from each sectors? This is one of our most interest, is to try to understand what could happen if the world could be in a different way.
In that regard, we were talking about the systemic change which needs us to break silos between education, entrepreneurship, philanthropy, finance, and community knowledge to design solutions. And so when we were talking about the breaking silos piece, and I was thinking about that and how funding is secured, at least in Switzerland, a lot of NGO funding still comes through project-based grants and or corporate social responsibility funds or foundations that are focused on measurable outputs. And not much is done in relation to trust-based funding, which is investing in local organizations or global organizations as long-term partners and recognize them as co-creators, and not just in terms of the benefits or the short-term gains of itself. So there's not just education in terms of what we were describing in the Times Higher Education piece in terms of schools and universities, including regenerative education into their modules, but educating financiers, educating foundations that would give funds to these types of projects. But I do believe that a lot of education needs to be directed to those funding sources because they just don't understand about measuring and about.
And these indigenous people, also all micro, small, medium firms that embrace their environment, their people, they create so many good, let's say, solutions that are not hurt by the power of the system, the big power. So important that we give the opportunity to children and youth in order to experience by themselves, and transform in these new leaders and embody the systemic change. Also, elder and youth.
But funding, especially for the grassroots and this kind of work for social entrepreneurs, is what really is the problem of the day we need to solve. Exciting things happening in the area of blended finance. It seems to be happening more at national levels, but it is interesting to see that if de-risking funding is brought in and unique combinations of loan-based financing, equity-based financing, and grants, as well as technical assistance based on what is needed, is starting to happen around the world. What I don't see is this kind of models looking at starting with the grassroots directly, rather than only, most of them seem to start at country level, and the thinking is it will trickle down to the grassroots. I don't know how fast that happens. It might be very interesting to look at models of bringing this kind of blended finance, but starting with grassroots, perhaps working with organizations like Chopper Nosotros, which works with many grassroots, then that de-risking element comes in.
We are creating a new way of giving tools of learning, of embodying, let's say, this systemic change, bringing it alive. Bring it, for example, when we transform, we begin in a community that are families, they have their culture. They do not know how to work, to be integrated into the market, how to establish and commit with an order, take their cost, use many of the tools. At Hecho por Nosotros and Animana, we create these local businesses, yes? And then we integrate it into the market and we give voice at the different spaces, academies, and be challenging and be participating at the rounds of funders. So we need a systemic change. We have clothes for 6 generations, yes? And it is not just fast fashion. It is the luxury fashion, the worst of the worst. Camelids, the most finest fiber of the world, they are in the Andean region. You go there, they are under the line of poverty. So we, as a whole, we need another system where these brands cannot exist anymore. And we need a new way of dressing, of interchanging. It's totally different to the system that we have nowadays. One thing that we have to tackle is bureaucracy. The time is now. We should collaborate now with what we have. Yes, because if we continue waiting the funding, we will never do nothing, never in our existence.
So my sense is blockchains have a huge role to play in this because it is about trust, whether it be for funding or some of the other solutions we are talking about. Not only blockchain, but as a way of kind of tracking who is who and what is the credibility, and retaining that can really help, whether it be for funding or building the kind of the attention economy, getting young people engaged. And